Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am here with Alaina.
Hi everyone.
From The Organized Money, and we are in New Orleans. I'm here visiting and she lives in the area, and so we decided to film a video. We polled on Instagram and we asked some questions regarding what you guys wanted to ask us, just some questions that we can answer in a Q&A type of video. And so we're going to be answering some questions here. We're also going to be answering questions that she got on her channel. So definitely be sure to head on over to her channel. I'll have it linked up here and down below in the description box. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. First question is, what are your non-negotiables in your budget?
My non-negotiables. I definitely have two. Food, because we love eating out. Me and my husband love to eat out. We have been like that since we've been dating, and it is a non-negotiable for me. I know every time I have watched other financial coaches, they have been like, oh, you should definitely cut that. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And nails. Okay. So I love getting my nails done, so that's a non-negotiable.
Does your husband have a non-negotiable?
His non-negotiables usually are kind of like the same with mine. He definitely does like to eat out. We both really enjoy that. And then every now and then he'll have like a gadget that he wants. Okay. And whenever he does, we just like put it in the budget. Okay. So like his latest one was this big computer screen. He just wanted this second screen. So we just got that for him too. So yeah. Okay, so I already knew
one of hers was going to be eating out, because we both have pretty healthy eating out budgets, even though it's just me and my husband in our household, but there are 4 in her household, but we both still have a pretty similar eating out budgets. I am the exact same way. My husband and I love like going out of the house and going out to eat and doing a date night. And she and her husband do regular date nights as well. Yes, and we do regular date nights, and that's something we've been doing our whole entire existence. Right. So I can't fathom like just cutting it out just for the fun of it. I mean, like if push came to shove and we needed to cut our grocery budget or our food budget, of course we would cut back. But if we have the income to do that, then we're going to do that, because that's the one area that we spend probably more than maybe what other people spend. So that is one. Another non-negotiable for me would be my upkeep. So I don't want to have my hair looking crazy. I do enjoy getting my eyebrows waxed. I like getting a pedicure every now and again, and I like getting my nails done as well. And then I would say for my husband, he needs some type of TV. So like whatever kind of cable or streaming service. I can't imagine what his life would be like without cable. So that's one of his non-negotiables. So
yeah. And I just saw you recently put in your stories, you had like laser hair removal. And I know you said it was expensive, but see, sometimes I feel like you still gotta splurge, even if you're in your budget journey. Otherwise, you usually will fall off and you won't do it. You won't stick to it.
And people are different, so some people may never have any interest in laser hair removal or getting their nails done, but I'm a nail biter, so I like getting my nails done to prevent me from biting my nails. And those are just the things that I personally enjoy and that Alaina enjoys. So other people are different. So if you're not that interested in going out to eat, if cooking at home sits right with your spirit, then do that. But always try to budget for some kind of like discretionary spending, because otherwise, I don't know what life would be like if all we did is just pay bills. So, if you have the means, try to incorporate some discretionary spending, some fun money in your budget. Yeah. So the next question is how to set up an office space on a budget when you have no designated room available.
Oh, so before I had my office and we were in an apartment, the one thing that I did was set up a little corner in my bedroom. And like literally, I went to Walmart, I found like a cute little simple desk in their little furniture area. It was just like a table. I don't even think it had drawers. And I had that and like one little compartment for pens and stuff on the top. It was very, very simple, very minimalistic looking, but it was all that I needed with my planner and my computer. And I really kept it simple. The thing is, I think that when we try and think of office space, bigger space, we try and think of all of these different things that we're gonna put on it, but we don't use half of that stuff. So keep it simple. Look on Pinterest for ideas. Look for different ways that you can just find little cute things. Target and Walmart are your best friends?
I would say that's funny that you answered that way, because when we had the apartment before I technically have 2 office spaces now, which is obviously out of control, but not really, because one is where we work in the shop and the other one is actually an office. But I actually set up in the dining room area because we didn't really use the dining room, so we put our table, like our dining table, kind of like in the living room, kind of off to the side. So I actually set up in the dining room. Right. And like she was saying, you just really need like a little nook or cranny. So you might be able to accomplish that with like our closet in our master bedroom is huge. So I always think about like setting up my vanity in there if I wanted to move it, or that would be perfect for like a little office space. And like she was saying, you don't need all these extravagant things. Right. Really, you just need your essentials. So it might be a desk, a chair, and maybe a printer or some kind of little stand where you can put your printer on or put some little deco or your supplies. So that would be my suggestion. But my best friend is actually IKEA, because I think that you can get...
We don't have that here.
I don't either. I actually travel a couple hours away to get things. But I try to do it on my way back in from different cities.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay,
like,
that's cool.
I don't just go there for fun.
Yeah.
But you can get legs and a tabletop from there for like $25, and boom, you have a desk, and you can get some other little cute faux plants or whatever it is, office supplies, things like that from IKEA. So IKEA, Target, Walmart, definitely like Dollar General, Facebook Marketplace, buying secondhand, going to Goodwill and like trying to reupholster things and DIY things for sure.
And look on YouTube, they have some really cute DIY ways to transform different pieces of furniture that you may even have in your home that you could just reuse and put in a corner and redo, you know, something to that. So
the next question is, in a marriage where your husband makes 3 times as much, how to talk money? And this person is talking her making $50K and husband making $150K. I'll go first.
Yes.
So the first thing that I'm going to say is, in a marriage, you both are making $200K, right? If this is your situation. Now, obviously, there are couples who have split finances, and I'll be honest, I'm really not like a judgmental person. I like to allow people to live their lives how they want to live their lives, but I could not fathom being married and me making $50K and my husband making $150K and us not like having I couldn't imagine being married period and not having combined finances, because I just feel like personally the level of financial freedom and achievement that we have been able to attain by working together is unparalleled. Because, you know, I was single for like 20 years before I met my husband, and I was in grad school and I was living by myself and paying bills and all those types of things, and it just, my single budget and his single budget, like it just didn't even, where we are now, since we've been working together, since we've been married for 4 years, it's just in a different place. So maybe you guys can talk about combining finances. I don't know how long you've been married or how your husband feels about that, but I feel like that would be number one, because otherwise it's just, you're already setting yourself up for a disadvantage, and for there to be like animosity and like a struggle just by thinking that you both aren't making 200K and by having the mindset that he's making this and you're making that, because that is a whole lot more than what you are making. So that would be my suggestion, is trying to move towards, you know, combining finances.
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, I 100% agree. And I also feel like a lot of times we put value in money, right? We try and assign it to people's worth or their character, who they are as a person, and really, no matter who makes what, those numbers really don't matter. Y'all are married, which means that together y'all make $200,000, no matter who decides what, because a lot of times there are a lot of different things that kind of come into play that will aid him in being able to be successful with his income, right? Like you're probably doing certain things at the home, making it easier for him when there's certain things that he doesn't have to do that you may be taking on, just depending on your particular situation. The other side of that is if you also need to understand each other's money history, how you grew up looking at money, your money personality. So what I mean by that is how are you viewing yourself and him when it comes down to money? Are you assigning value to that because of something that has happened in your past? Are you looking at it as you're not worth as much because you make less? And if that's the case, then that needs to be addressed, especially if that's becoming something that y'all are bringing into your relationship, because it's going to become really difficult to get on the same page if y'all are starting at this level of I'm better because I make more, or I make less, so I'm not as good as. So you definitely need to look at all of the money history, money personality, see if y'all are on the same page. And if you aren't, should read the Money Personality book. It is by Beth and Sue Palmer. They wrote this book. I want to say it's in my Amazon favorites, but it's a really good book on marriage, money, and personalities, and how to get on the same page. It's a really good book. Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's a lot more than what we can just share in this video about how to actually take those steps towards moving towards being one when it comes to finances. But I feel like that is step number one, because even the question being brought up as something that needs to be answered.
The way you said it, it seemed like you were feeling some type of way because he makes more and you make less. And the way that the question is posed makes it seem like you're assigning some type of value to him versus you. And in marriage, you just can't look at it.
You have to have a level playing field.
You have to.
And I think about it too, like if I made $50,000 and my husband made $150,000 and we had separate finances, I probably would feel a certain kind of way about that if that's the life that we were living, if we had split finances. Because if you don't see it as both of your incomes, and you're probably not doing budget meetings together or budgeting together or having those chats about money and financial goals and those types of things. And imagine what two people can do with $200,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can make so much more progress.
In
retirement, everything would be set. Yeah.
And so I think that's the key, is to try to figure out how you can get on the same page, because in all actuality, you both make 200, or together you guys make 200,000. So piggybacking off of that question, someone else asked, I want to learn how to do a budget meeting with my hubby.
Yeah.
You want to go?
So it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, but I'll tell you this. When me and my husband first got married, we've been married for 10 years now, but when we first got married, we were not on the same page. He is considered like a flyer, like he's way more nonchalant. So he just was not really concerned when it came down to money at all. As long as the bills were paid and the lights turned on, meh. You know, he just was just not concerned. And I've always been one that wanted to save, and so I used to think that he just didn't care. Like, I'm like, you just don't care about our money, but our money is our future and all of this other stuff. So it would always cause like a little bit of unease. But once I realized that he just had more of a nonchalant personality when it came to it, I stopped taking it so personally and stopped looking at it as, okay, he didn't care about our family or something like that, and more look at it as from his perspective. I think a lot of times when we're dealing with marriage, you have to come to the table thinking about the other person, thinking about how they grew up, thinking about how they have looked at money in the past, and not come to the table with an accusatory tone or just automatically saying, you need to do this. It's automatically, we need to do this. And let's talk it through. If you don't want to talk about money, why? What's happened? Was it a problem growing up? Did maybe their parents fussed about it? And if, like with my husband, his parents fussed about money so much that it would create this unease. So then when I started talking about it, he automatically thought that we were going to start arguing when I would just be asking questions. But in my home, my parents didn't argue about money. So I never felt any way about it. So you never know what people's histories are or what they might not even realize is going on. So you definitely gotta talk. You gotta just keep that conversation going. We like to do it on some of our date nights. We
do it almost every night. We talk about money almost every date night.
Yeah.
People think we're weird, but I'm like,
it makes it.
It's the bane of our existence.
Yeah,
and it's the number one of the leading causes of divorce. So the more we can talk about it, the more we can, come to terms, and we just have a legit conversation. And just to, share my thought on that is, first of all, definitely if you're the saver going to the spender, definitely you want to extend grace and try to meet that person where they are, because I can go on and on and on about how life is just different. Our spending habits and just the way that we view money is going to be different from person to person, just because of the money messages that we were taught when we were coming up, or the lack of money messages, or just whatever that money mindset looked like in the homes that we grew up in. And so definitely you want to be extending grace and try to figure out and just kind of meet the person where they are. But also, I do think that talking about money should be as easy as some of the other things that we talk about, even though it is a difficult subject and it may be difficult to do it in the beginning. But I would for sure just have your partner to come to the table and have written down maybe all of the questions that you want to ask or the things that you want to talk about. That's what I like to do for our budget meetings, is kind of have like a little itinerary. We go through it. We go through it. We hit the subjects and the topics, and then we just move on. Like, it's just a part of our everyday thing.
Yeah, us too. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I think that if you make it like, oh my goodness, it's super intense and we gotta sit down and we gotta have this meeting, I think that it becomes more stressful than it needs to be. But if you keep it light and you have dinner, you have food, and especially if it's your husband, it's my boy, it's my friend, we're just talking like we would talk about what's on TV. Okay, so what do you think about this money or our bank account? Just keep it light and don't make it like, okay, we need to talk about this now. Well, now I'm already nervous because you already coming to me with this animosity, you know? So, and
be open-minded, like she was saying. I'll just say like, okay, we have this much money left over, or it's looking like we're gonna have this much money left over. What do you think that we should do with it? And then that's when you can cut, and that's what I was gonna say is, you just need to come to an agreement. Like, that's all you have to do. You have to, meet the person halfway. Maybe you want to pay off debt. Maybe they want to save a little bit. I mean, it's your money together, especially if you're in a marriage, and you guys have the liberty to decide, what you want to do with your money. But it shouldn't be, a stressful thing. Although obviously I know that talking about money can be stressful for some, but that's the negative part of it. We want to, I want everyone to move to a place where they can positively, openly talk about it just as much as they can talk about other things like sports or whatever the case is. But those are our thoughts on that. Okay, so the last question is, how can a single woman with a single income live her best financial life?
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. A single woman live her best life. I feel like any other way that you would budget for anything else, like I just think as long as you are intentionally thinking about the different things that you want to do as a single woman, and you are putting it in your budget, then it's the same thing as self-care. It's the same thing as eating out. Like I told you, we have different things that we love to do. I have different expenses that I love to put in my budget, even though I'm paying off debt, even though I'm saving, even though I'm putting the money aside for retirement, I still put aside money for other things that I want to do. Same thing. You just have to prioritize what you really want.
What I would say to that is, it's no different than being married. The only real difference is that you don't have a second income, which technically means that your income isn't as high. So maybe as a single person with the budget that you have, you're able to save $200 each month, or whatever the case is. And maybe a married couple might be able to save $2,000. But the fact of the matter is, your goals, whether single or married, I mean, like, you still have your own goals if you're single, and you still have the same things that you're trying to work towards, whether that's saving an extra $200 a month, putting an extra $200 towards retirement or debt or whatever the case is. So you have to kind of like be okay and sit with where you are in life, I guess I would say, because yes, if you're married, then maybe you can move through your goals or whatever much quicker. But I don't know, I am a firm believer that the goal in life isn't to just, fly through life and try to like,
just hit all the cues.
I just firmly believe, and I just feel like slow and steady wins the race too. And so you don't have to like be paying off $2,000 or $4,000 a month like some people are able to. You have to do whatever it is that you can. So again, the budget really wouldn't, I don't think like the budgeting principles would really change for a single person versus a married couple. Right. So you just have to be comfortable with where you are, and if it's going to take you as a single person 3 years to do what maybe a married couple could do in 6 months, then that's just the reality of it.
And you have to realize that even though you're single, you may not have twice the income, but you also don't have twice the expenses, right? Like, so with me being married and having kids, the kids don't bring, we have 4 people in the house, but only 2 of them bring in money. So, the kids just get to spend it all up and have fun, right? They live for free. So I think that, there are certain expenses that you may not have as well, and you may be able to benefit from that side as well, and be able to do other things and move another way. A couple may not either. So either way, I think you just have to think about it from the angle of, okay, I may have to do 200 in savings, but I might not have as much debt as this person has. So I'm only paying off $1,000 in debt instead of them. They might be paying off, $2,000 of debt, but if they have $30,000 and you only have $1,000, you're actually still running the same race. So I just think that you can't look at only one side of it, just the income side. Think about those expenses too.
So if it were just me, I wouldn't have anybody to go out to eat with. So therefore, my food budget would be like $200 per month as opposed to $1,000. So really, like, you do have to think about the advantages, if you will, the positives of being single and just working towards your goals. And honestly, I mean, being single and being able to kind of define your life and your goals isn't such a bad thing, because you can set yourself up so whenever you do meet a potential partner, if that's what you're looking to do, you can be at a place where, you maybe have done all you've laid the groundwork for your financial future, and you can kind of meet your future spouse or whomever where they are, and you guys can just take it from there. So it's not a bad thing to be single and, just kind of being the only person in control of your income and your funds. So like she was saying, just kind of try to think about the positives, because there are positives, or just not trying to compare, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so those are all of the questions that we're going to answer on my channel. And like I mentioned previously, we are going to be answering questions on Alaina's channel, and I will have that link down below. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you over on Alaina's channel. Bye, guys.
Bye.